at KTS and to the Public Finance Trade Program. My name is Regina Orlando, and with me are our resident panelists. On my left is Mr. Timothy Kiprono, a program officer in charge of governance and social development at Kerio Center. And on my immediate right is Mr. Emmanuel Kongin, assistant program officer in charge of governance and social development at Kerio Center organization. Welcome to the program. The Constitution of Kenya 2010 and other subsequent legislation such as the County Government Act and the Public Finance Management Act requires that there should be a public participation when it comes to the matters of public finance. And today we want to gauge how this participation happen, especially when it comes to youth and other active partners in the public finance. And these laws have also created frameworks in which the public participation ought to happen. And today we want to look at the participation of youth and other interest groups in the budgeting process. We will measure the participation of these groups against the opportunities and how these opportunities have been utilized. So stay tuned to the show. Mr. Kongin, to start us off in the program, Article 137 of the Public Finance Management Act requires that there is a creation of county budget and economic forums within the counties to facilitate the engagement of the public and the government on how public finance management should be. Do you think this process has been followed in Uasin Gishu County?
For the case of Uasin Gishu, it is not very clear about how this forum is, the county budget and economic forum is functioning. But early in 2015, that is last year, we were told that this forum was actually established. But since then we've not heard anything about the forum and whether it is doing its role or it's actually active. Yeah.
Okay.
So this forum is actually supposed to be a public institution that is supposed to be engaging with the public and the executive, and it shouldn't be a secret tool of the executive.
Sure.
It's actually supposed to be a tool for the public to engage in terms of what happens in the budgeting process and every other role, every other activity in public finance. Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Kiprono, what does the law say about this forum, and especially in terms of its establishment?
Thank you, Regina. Actually, this is one of the new institutions in the new dispensation. And like Ongin just mentioned, like in Uasin Gishu, it's not clear. Well, so the establishment of the county budget and economic forum is is supposed to be immediately. The law is not really clear on the timelines, but it says immediately, in a practical time or moment, then the government establishes this forum. So what is supposed to happen is that this forum is constituted by the governor, who then nominates or appoints people nominated by interest groups, for example, youth, women, business, people with disability, professionals, and then churches, So they nominate people, and then the governor picks from those people, and then now the membership of the forum comes that. And then there is another component of the government officials, which includes now the governor, who is supposed to be the chair, and then the CC members. CC is the Chief Executive Committee member, equivalent to the minister or a cabinet secretary at the national level. So this forum is government officials and public, so having a discussion around or dialogue around the public finances. Yeah. Okay.
And Mr. Kongin, still going back to Article 137 of the Constitution, that states of the Public Finance Management Act. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. It states that the main function, the main aim of this forum is to provide a consultative means or way between the government and the public. Could you please unbundle this for us?
Thank you for that. The Public Finance Management Act, Article 137, specifically says that this County Budget and Economic Forum has two important roles. The first role is it is supposed to be involved in the preparation of the county plans, the county fiscal strategy paper, and the budget review and outlook paper of the county. So that is the first role.
Okay.
The first important role they are supposed to be involved in. The other important role is in matters relating to budgets, also the economy, and also financial management at the county level. Yes, so those two roles are the ones which are very clear, that it's very important for the CBF to be involved in.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Kiprono, among the roles he has mentioned the county plans. This seems to be a bit general. What does it mean? Could you please just break it down?
Yes, it's true. It's actually very general when it discusses the roles, and one of the things, that's one of the problems of the Public Finance Management Act when it comes to establishment of the County Budget and Economic Forum. It's actually not very clear. Well, but I mean, we interpret the first role, which is dealing with plans, to mean several plans required by the County Government Act, which include the annual development plan. This comes annually, but of course this one is borrowed from the 5-year plan. This is the County Integrated Development Plan. There is other plans which include sector plans for like 10 years required by the County Government Act. There is also another 10-year plan, spatial planning. So this is kind of town planning or something like that, where the urban areas and something. But there are also specific urban areas and towns plans. So this is what actually this is referred to by this section of the Public Finance Management Act. Well, so in regards to just linking it to whether this forum in Uasin Gishu has been established or not, or something like that. So Kongin mentioned like there was some information. Well, it's not formal, it's not official information that it was established. But then even if it was established, then we've not seen the forum engaging around these plans. So of course these are the plans, like the sector plans, like the urban plans, like the spatial plan. We've not seen those things. Of course the budgets for 2014 had budgets for spatial planning, and also the current budget has budgets for spatial planning. But of course there are things which we've seen already. There are plans which we've seen already, like the CIDP, like the annual development plan. So for example, if we pick annual development plan and link it to whether this forum exists or not, then we've not seen the forum, we've not seen where the forum is coming in to discuss these annual development plans. So this is the second year Uasin Gishu is doing annual development plan, but we've not seen it discussing. So unless they're discussing from somewhere else that it's not public, then it's not clear. It's not actually coming out like what is the role of this forum, if it is there, and is it functioning the way it's supposed to function.
Okay, Mr. Kongin, other than the budget, what other matters relate to finance?
Okay, the Act is not very clear on these matters of planning and budgeting. But matters of planning and budgeting include discussions that have a direct bearing on the financial management and also the economy. So the key documents that are actually discussed relating to the economy and financial management include the budget circular, which is actually done on the 30th of August. There is also the county fiscal strategy paper and the budget review and outlook paper for the county. There is also the budget estimates which are presented to the assembly on the 30th of April every year, which actually end up being the approved budget that the county implements for the next financial year. And then there is also what is coming out from the budget, which is the quarterly implementation reports from how the budget that was approved is implemented. And then there's also the aspect that by having members of the business community represented in CBF, the finance bill is also an important document that is supposed to be discussed by the CBF, because that actually the finance bill is one of the documents that defines how much is being charged to the business community. And then one also important role is advisory information provided by the Controller of Budget and also the Commissioner on Revenue Allocation. So all these documents that I've mentioned have a direct role in the financial management in one way or another.
Mr. Kiprono, Mr. Kongin has just said that the Act is not very clear on its role. And we also know that despite that, it provides an opportunity for different groups to inculcate their input in the decision-making process. How do you think the input of women and the youth has helped in improving the budgeting process, and especially with reference to addressing their issues?
Thanks. First, it's actually unfortunate that this forum we're not sure whether this forum is there or not. And then secondly, we may not be able to measure whether this kind of structures or the provision of the law to create this kind of structures for public participation is actually helping, for example, people like youth, for example. You can tell in the absence of the forum itself. So we also don't know whether they've utilized, if it is there, assuming it's there, but then we don't know. I mean, Kongin and myself don't know whether this forum exists. And of course, considering that we say this forum should not be a sacred tool, it should be an instrument for public to utilize. So we don't know whether, for example, the representative of the youth in that forum, because they have a representative, they have a slot. So we don't know whether they are utilizing that to actually strengthen, the choices which addresses their needs. And then, I mean, if you take, for example, the people with disability, because they also have a representative.
Sure.
So currently they have a court, they have a case in court about public finance. Let's just call it, because it touches on distribution of resources, how they are benefiting from the resources of the county government. It's like they've been neglected, and now they've gone to court to find justice. So it tells you, like, it tells us something that maybe if this forum exists, like we just said, then there's indication that it's not actually working. It's not helping the people who are supposed to be represented in this forum. And of course, also points out to the issue, the whole issue of whether this forum is actually functioning the way it was intended to function. Yes.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it will be that.
Mr. Kongin, I think based on what we've discussed so far, I think it becomes a bit of a concern when structures that are supposed to promote public participation are really not clear, just like we've stated in the Act. And why do you think public participation is very important, that it has to be incorporated in the law?
In thinking about how to set up and operationalize the County Budget and Economic Forum, it's important to first consider why public participation in public finance is important. And while we can say that public participation is a requirement of the law as much as it's also a good practice, maybe I can say that there are some items, or there are some things which are very important in regards to the importance of public participation. And one of the key things that we can say is very important is it is actually public participation that gives us the opportunity to open up institutions at all levels and improve checks by new bodies. And this public participation is also important in the sense that it is a way in which the public can align their needs and demands closely with the choices that are being made by the officials in government and at all stages of the decision-making process. And one of the key things that is actually contributed by public participation is it also helps us to raise questions about issues like corruption and failure to account for public resources. So when the public is involved, it is them who will actually be asking questions about how the budget, for example, is being implemented. And if these reports, the budget implementation reports, actually show how the resources are being spent. Yeah. So also, apart from that, we can also say that when the public is involved, it actually builds the legitimacy of government. So it makes the government programs, or what you can say, what the government intends to do in the budget is actually becomes something that the public can accept and actually make it easier for the government to implement. When they are involved, they'll feel part of what the government is doing. Yes.
We are taking a short break, but we still have a lot more lined up for you in our topic of discussion today.